So let's see the first numerical based on Newton's second law of motion. The numerical is that there are two balls A and B of masses m and 2m and are in motion with velocity v and 2v respectively. Means that ball A has mass m and velocity v while B has mass 2m and velocity 2v. Okay? The question is that you compare their inertia, compare their momentum, as well as compare the force needed to stop them and in the same time. So there are three things which needs to be found. So we will begin with inertia. Inertia, as it has been told to you, depends upon mass. The greater the mass, the greater will be the inertia. Hence, if you look at the masses of the ball A and B, B has double the mass of A. That means inertia exerted by the body B will also be double than that of A, and hence is our answer that ratio of the inertia of the body A to inertia of the body B is 1:2. Because of the masses being different, the mass of B is twice the mass of the first. Okay, so that was the first part of the question. Now next part is momentum. The bodies have momentum, both the bodies. Why? Because they are in motion. That is why they possess momentum. So we have to compare which body has greater momentum than the other. So what we will do, we'll take the ratio again. Okay. So children, A has mass m and velocity v, while B has mass 2m and velocity 2v. So if PA is the momentum of A, then the momentum formula, mass into velocity, so it is mv. Momentum of ball B is 2m into 2v, so it is 4mv, right? Now you take the ratio. Why you are taking the ratio? Just because we have to compare. So whenever we do comparison, we take the ratio. So either I have written here PA upon PB. You can write PB upon PA. That can also be done. So when you put the values, it is 1:4 or 1/4, which implies that the momentum of body B is 4 times than that of A. Okay. So this is how you have compared the momentum. So in the ratio form, how can you write this? In the ratio form, it can be written as PA/PB is equal to 1:4. That is how it is. Okay. Now comes part number 3, where you have to compare the force needed to stop the body. Now force needed to stop the body is also same as that of the previous. Now why? It has been taught to you that Newton's second law is equal to delta P upon delta T, right? The question says that the force which you are applying, if you read the question, the last line of the question very carefully, you will find that the force needed to stop them in the same time, that means delta T in both of them, that means the change in time or the time duration in both of them is same. So delta T is same for both the balls A and B. Hence, if FA is written as delta PA upon delta T, then FB you will write as delta PB upon delta T, because the time duration is same. Now when you will take the ratio of both the forces, then FA upon FB delta PA upon delta T whole upon delta PB upon delta T. Delta T cancel out each other, and what are you left with? You are left with this ratio PA upon PB, and delta PA upon PB you have found just now, it is nothing but 1:4, and hence FA upon FB is also 1:4, which means that force required to stop the moving body will for B will be 4 times than that of A. Hence we can write FA is to FB is equal to 1:4, and that's our answer. Okay, I hope I have made myself clear to you all. So this is one kind of question that can be asked from Newton's second law of motion. I have got one more question for you, right? And this is another interesting, however this is a little long question, but it is very interesting. Let's see what it is. A ball of mass 10 grams is moving with a velocity of 50 meters per second. On applying constant force on the ball for 2 seconds, it acquires a velocity of 70 meters per second. Calculate the initial momentum, final momentum, rate of change of momentum, acceleration and magnitude of force. That means everything, whatever you have studied in Newton's second law, all those physical quantities you have to find here. Okay, so let's begin with the values that are given to us. Okay, so mass is given, which is how much? 10 grams. Now if you look at the rest of the values, physical quantities and their units, you will find that they are given in SI system. So here also we need to get the value of mass in kilograms. So 10 grams is 1/100 kg. Initial velocity is given, time is given, final velocity is given. How do you identify that 50 meters per second is initial velocity? Just because it is written already over here in the first sentence that it is moving with a velocity of 50 meters per second. So that is how we come to know that this is initial value. And acquires a velocity of 70 meters per second means after some time, after 2 seconds, it acquires the velocity of 70 meters per second, which means that the final velocity is 70. Okay, so you have these values with you. First part of the question is calculate initial momentum. So initial momentum, mass into velocity. Which velocity we will be taking? Since we are finding out initial value, so we will take initial velocity. On putting the values, you get this answer. Similarly, for finding out final momentum, you will again multiply mass and velocity, but this time we will take final velocity because we have to find final momentum. You put the values and you get the result. So this is how you find initial and final momentum. Third part is find rate of change of momentum. So how do you find rate of change of momentum? Rate of change of momentum is delta P upon delta T. Delta I have told you, and you must be knowing also that delta is the difference. So first of all, we'll find the difference between initial and final momentum. So always final minus initial, that is what we do. So PF minus PI divided by 2 seconds. This is the given value in the question, that a constant force is applied on the body for 2 seconds. So here we will put the value 2 seconds. On putting the rest of the values, we get the rate of change of momentum as this. According to Newton's second law of motion, this rate of change of momentum is nothing but force. So basically you have found force in this particular question. And also unit, if you look at the unit, it is also same as that of force, right? After that, you were asked to find acceleration. This is the formula of acceleration. Again, you put the values to find the acceleration and you get this value, 10 meters per second square. And the last one was to find force. Now here you have already found force in this part, but there is one more way to find out force, and that is the value you put MA. The mass value is 1/100, acceleration you found just now. So when you multiply these two, you get the answer. Now you look at the answer and you compare these two answers. They are same because it is the same force which we are finding out. I have done this part using F equals to MA formula just because I wanted to explain you this concept. in the exam, suppose if you get the similar kind of question and you have already found force, then you need not to repeat this step. You can simply put the value of force here directly. I have explained you just because I wanted to tell you that you can find force by using this formula also. So these are the two numericals that we discussed that are based on Newton's second law of motion. Okay, next is Newton's third law. We'll study Newton's third law and we'll do some more numericals based on that.